Yeah, it's been a minute.
Been a while.
Yeah, been a minute since we came out with a video, but Rush Hour Visuals, we're back.
We are.
Yeah. And,
more content.
Exactly. And what we wanted to do in this video was kind of give you a few songs. We're both going to give like
a few songs each,
Yeah, of just stuff we've been listening to during this quarantine, stuff that's been getting us through the time of
hard times. I hope everyone's
isolation.
Safe. Oh yeah, we probably should talk about people being safe.
Yeah. Well, that's outro content.
Outro content.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's fine. I think we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
there.
we're.
So yeah, I mean, getting right into it, the first song that I've been listening to a lot recently during this quarantine is Levitating by Dua Lipa, off her latest album, Future Nostalgia. It came out probably like a month ago, maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love this track. It's just such a infectious, catchy song.
Yeah, it is really sweet and
exactly.
poppy,
I think it gets to like what makes a really good pop song, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pop music is like relies on formulas, which I don't like even think is a bad thing. I think that's a strength of pop music, And I think this is just such a great representation of like what makes a good pop song, right? You have this slinky, infectious bass line that it's an earworm bass line. It gets in your head. It sets the groove, and then you have like Dua Lipa, who like, before this whole album release, in my opinion, was one of the least charismatic pop stars to come out of like the pop machine, if you will.
Very faceless.
I could not tell you like what a Dua Lipa song sounds like before this album release, and then now like her voice just like it just oozes charisma, as like I guess gross as that sounds, kind of like but for real, like she's so bruh. She's incredibly charismatic, right? She sounds incredibly confident. She's singing the words with like a great deal of conviction. Like, I don't know, it sounds like she's having a lot of fun too. And then put on top of that, like a great chorus, a great breakdown with like sort of like a sing-along portion to it. Like excellent layered vocals.
Yeah, I love the chanting vocals in the background. That's probably my favorite part of the song. Yeah. Along with the ad-libs, it's just adds to the energy, makes it more high octane than it even would be without it.
And I love like even I think like the sentiment is like almost very relevant, right? Like, come on, dance with me. It's kind of like getting away from everything and like having just like the time of your life. And I think that's something that I want to hear right now, at least. I don't want like a song reminding me about how like alone I am in my room and how I can't see any of my friends.
I don't need the claustrophobic inside music.
Exactly.
Shout out to Earl Sweatshirt, but that's not the vibes that we need right now.
Exactly.
Trying to bring the positivity.
I needed this for my mental health.
Yeah.
Right.
Self-care. Yeah. Listening to Dua Lipa is self-care.
And I think that like this song is such a great example of what this album is, right? This album is full of just like catchy, infectious melodies that are just incredibly well thought out and incredibly well executed. And I don't know, I just think that this album and this song specifically like represent like what good pop music can be, right? Like I know like a lot of the main gripes with pop music in like at least in recent years is that like people don't even consider it a real genre, right? People just consider pop music as like what is popular. Yeah. And that's because a lot of pop music is very much just like wave riding, right? Like you'll hear tons of pop songs today, like something off of, I don't know, one of the One Direction boys' new album that's not Harry Styles. We'll be like
shots.
I'm sorry, dude. Harry Styles is the only one with any sort of like, I don't know, voice, personality, sound. Yeah, like...
Bro, you really come for Niall like that?
More Lewis. Nope, not Lewis.
It's
Liam, man, dude.
Liam dropped something?
Probably. I don't fucking know, dude. Fuck that guy.
He has the song with Quavo that I heard. That's like
exactly
from
right, like
a while ago though.
But that's such a great example. Like you see,
I don't remember what it sounds like. I can't tell you what it sounds like.
You know what? Exactly.
I'm trying to kind of make it the point.
Yeah, you have like pop stars who are just like making, these songs. They're getting, Quavo on for just like a completely faceless feature that was clearly just for the bag.
Bro, don't diss Quavo, please.
I mean, I think
please.
Shout out Quavo. I'm just saying that like you can tell when like someone did something for the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's like a
shout out to them.
It's like it's formulaic, but taking the bad parts of the formula of like we're gonna get rapper to appeal to blacks
to the urban population, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the Quavo verse, but I'm gonna listen to it one time because I know Quavo is saving his best stuff for his friends.
Exactly, right.
You're not getting a Circle of Bosses verse out of Quavo,
right? On fucking Liam Payne or like a Camila Cabello song, right? You can't listen to a new pop song, it feels like sometimes, without hearing like, I don't know, trap 808s, right? These like super fast hi-hats.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Dua Lipa's music, this album and this song specifically, so good. Is because it's so thoughtful. It's such a thoughtful reference to like 90s disco pop, 80s disco pop. And I think that's even reflective in something like the album artwork, right? Shout out to Inside the Mood, which is an Instagram account that like traces a lot of like artistic inspiration when it comes to like photography and fashion. They pointed out that this album artwork is actually a reference to an earlier Madonna. I think it was an ad actually.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was an advertisement. And like I feel like you can really appreciate just how much thought went into the construction of this project. Even on a macro scale, like the Dua Lipa reboot has been incredible, right? With this album release, she has a personality. She's like is incredibly recognizable, right? I think that even goes to, I can't talk about something without kind of talking about, clothing, I suppose, right? Like with this album, what I appreciate a lot is like in terms of style is like picking more niche brands and like more kind of like fashion head brands, right? Like you had her cover in like some of her single artwork. She was in like Marine Serre, which is a brand that I personally love. Like during this album promotional run, you saw her in like Archive Versace. You've seen her in like tons of other brands, and like I just love how she's been able to do a complete 180 from the most faceless pop star I could even think of to becoming like someone who's like, I think is one of the most exciting faces in pop music right now.
Yeah, so for my first choice, I chose BK the Rula's Tweakin Together. So Tweakin Together actually came out in the summer of 2019, but landed on BK the Rula's official first release, debut release, Love Santana, which came out in January. And it's honestly one of my favorite releases of the year, and this is one of my favorite songs off of the tape. I really love the production of it. It's a real melodic, spacey, Pierre Bourne-esque beat. It's not produced by Pierre, but it's like cloudy, but it's not soulless. It's just like it's kind of pretty.
It kind of like nails down like what you love from a Pierre beat, which is like just like the feeling of just being completely immersed in the sound, right?
It's like very watery and flowing.
Just like how we love Playboi Carti, because when you listen to a project like Dial It, you're just completely like immersed in the universe. It's the same thing with this song.
Yeah, and her approach on the song is very melodic as well. She isn't really so in comparison to the rest of the tape, which has a lot of like aggressive and just straight at you flow. Her flow is like off kilter in a way that some people call it offbeat, but they're just incorrect. She's just in a different pocket that most rappers don't usually approach songs in. For comparison, like a TJX6 kind of pocket, but I'd say very less.
I'm sure people are gonna be like, yes, TJX6.
I think people know who he is.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
What's his my uncle said in World War II he shot at a T-Rex. That guy.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen any of his raps or that meme, if you know who that guy is, then yeah, that type of it's a sound really associated with Detroit, but is all over rap. She's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
But her approach is usually that off kilter approach delivery, and this song is very much not so that. It's melodic. It's reminds me of Right Now off of Love Is Rage, the Lil Uzi Vert tape from 2015. That's what I would say is the best comp to this song. She is like not really spitting the best bars, but it more has this like anthem like feel. Like in the video of the song, it's her and her friends singing along and chanting this. It has something that you could probably just scream when you're like inebriated at a party. I've never been there.
I could never.
I don't even know what that is.
Not in my Christian apartment.
Yeah, never. But she has that sort of approach, and Tweakin Together is probably the biggest song off of Love Santana, which is her album. And it's honestly one of my favorite releases of the year, just because it sounds like a lot of the current superstars of like the Uzis and the Pierre Bournes and the Playboy Cardis, but it's unique and it's fresh in its own delivery, its own right, because she doesn't really harp on the like the oohs and the yeahs and the little ad-lib things. She has her own energy, her own unique delivery, and she has this confidence and charisma that's just oozing from her voice, but it doesn't sound like she's trying so hard to be confident like you hear the G-Eazys and the other rappers who this is they step into the booth and they become a different person. It's
like an authentic sort of like charisma, confidence.
She has the image that I think separates her from a lot of the other underground artists that I think kind of just are on SoundCloud and sound like SoundCloud rappers. There's two famous ones, but I'm not. I don't want to like sound like I'm flexing my SoundCloud rap knowledge, you know, like. But like,
what a flex,
you know, like. But there's like, she has that. It's not that she doesn't embrace that underground sound, but she has an image and a different approach and a different type of authenticity. I think that one of the things that happens and has been happening, I'd say at least since 2016, is that you have these faceless trap rappers that could be here today, gone tomorrow, with the colorful hair and the face tats and no real actual sound. The one that comes to mind is this one guy, Icy Narco. I don't know if anyone's ever heard an Icy Narco song, but like
is it a Rush Hour podcast or video without a Bukin mentioning just the most obscure?
No, because Icy Narco was like the quantification of like industry plant of the late 2010s, and BK, unlike those guys, it's like she has a SoundCloud sound that, you know, is definitely influenced by Uzi and Thug and Pierre and all the people that a lot of artists of today are influenced by, because they are the most popular people and they're doing the most interesting music, in my opinion. And you can see it in her music, but it doesn't sound like she was just sitting there like, oh, I'm going to copy this. Like when you listen to Tweakin Together, it sounds like she heard the beat and was just like, yo, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going to put on this song. I'm going to do the formulas, as you were talking about with the pop music. Some formulas work, you know, and it's not wrong to be formulaic. And she has some tools in her tool bag of like, oh yeah, like I know that like when you sing your Let's Go and you sing it softly, people are like, ooh yeah, like I do want to go, but like not in the same sort of way as when DaBaby's like Let's Go and you're like, oh now I want to turn up. You want to turn up, but like it's a little different. Like you have different approaches, and I think BK encapsulates
having a really just unique approach that's, you know, that's her sound on very popular style of music.
Yeah, and listen to
the album. Yeah, that about wraps it up.
Yeah, so just a couple of the songs that we've been listening to prior to and during quarantine.
Yeah, and after. And if you like, some of the snippets that we played during this video, assuming that it doesn't get copyright striked.
Yeah.
We're actually dropping a playlist with them and more songs. It's a 10-track playlist, Rush Hour Volume 1.
On Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah, link's going to be down in the description.
Yeah, maybe title if we're really feeling for it.
But oh my god.
If you have Deezer, maybe on there, or Pandora.
You can't even make.
Yeah, I don't know if you can make playlists on Pandora.
We're gonna download the MP3s and put them on SoundCloud.
Yeah. No, that will definitely get copyright.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Struck. So no SoundCloud. Sorry for everyone who's trapping for free. I guess we can make a playlist too. I guess. Right?
Sorry to everyone who has the Spotify. No, sorry, the SoundCloud Go.
Yeah, SoundCloud.
The SoundCloud
if
Premium.
You have SoundCloud Go. Bless up. Bless your heart, man.
Yeah.
You going through it.
Either way, yeah. So we're gonna be dropping a playlist. We're gonna have the links down in the description below with these songs plus a bunch more that we've been listening to during quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching. It's scary times right now.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Heart goes out to everyone who's mourning someone or
yeah,
is going through it right now.
And we appreciate the the support that you guys give us, and we're gonna keep coming back with more content. If you like the video, please like,
share,
subscribe, comment down below. What are some songs that you've been listening to during quarantine?
What songs are you trying to put us on to?
Exactly. We're always looking for new music, new content. Follow us. Follow me at JayZisBoard on Twitter.
At Buki the Great on Twitter and Instagram as well.
And then follow the podcast. Follow the podcast at the Rush Hour Podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah. And
thank you for watching. Stay safe, y'all.
Yeah.